All right, you ready?
No. Yes, of course.
Howard, first of all,
Andy.
how annoyed are you that you said yes to this?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you.
Yes.
I am only annoyed in that it was my week off.
Yes.
But SiriusXM said to me,
yeah.
if you do the interview with Andy, you can count it as a day off.
Good.
So I am owed a day off.
Good.
And that's why I'm here. And on those terms, you can come here every day and interview.
Fine.
Yeah, I don't care. Because if I can get a day off, that's great.
Now, I am so excited to see you in person.
Yes, this is
First
exciting.
of all.
This is exciting.
And the thing is, you were a shut-in before COVID.
Did you prepare questions for this?
I
Oh,
did.
you did?
Yeah, I
Where's
did.
your little cards that you use?
I didn't use cards. It's just
Oh, you
on
just have a sheet of paper?
Yeah, I just have notes.
I didn't think you prepared. I think like you rolled out of bed.
No.
And you just came
For
here.
this, I'm not going to prepare?
I don't know. Why is this so important? You know, I was thinking about this. Why
Okay.
is this so important to you to interview me? Because I am on the air like 100 hours a week.
Yeah.
For the last 50 years. There's nothing to ask me.
You're in control
Right.
on the air.
Right.
I would like you to be my bottom.
Yeah,
I'm going to top you, Howard.
But don't you realize I've already topped you? All we're
You've
talking
topped
about
me
is
many
you.
times.
No, but I've already topped you this morning. Right now, so far, the opening of this has been about you and how you prepared for the interview.
I understand how this works.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
all
I
right.
get
Well,
it.
you're an executive. You know
Yeah.
how to do this.
Howard, it is great to see you in person. I am now before COVID, you were already a shut-in.
Yeah.
But I am a little concerned that you're bordering on Howard Hughes.
So is my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not fun. Did you hear about that?
Yes.
Yeah. She says I'm not fun. I'm not. I'm going to be honest with you. COVID was the greatest thing that ever happened to me personally.
Amazing.
It really was. It was a game changer for me. Suddenly we could stay home and, and not be ridiculed for it. The technology somehow came together where we could broadcast from home.
Yeah.
There is no reason to leave your house.
Don't you think socialization is important for the human species?
No. In fact, I'll tell you a story. The other night, Maren Morris was over at Stephen's Talk House.
Yep.
And I decided, okay, enough. I'm going to go out and I'm going to socialize.
You got sick.
I got sick as a dog for a month.
Well, that's because you're in a hermit bed. and
Whatever. People are bags of germs.
Okay.
And I don't need them breathing. In fact, if you notice, I have you as far away from me as possible because you are such a social butterfly.
Oh, yeah.
That I'm sure right now there's all kind of virus all over you. I'm telling
I got
you.
my children's schools on me.
Yeah, I mean,
I got the gays on me.
I mean,
Forget it.
you've got everyone on you.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So you notice I didn't shake your hand when you came in.
That's fine.
That's right.
That's
but I did
okay.
hug you. I did hug you.
How does this play out with your grandchildren? Because they carry a lot of germs.
I let all of my phobias go when it comes to my grandchildren. I did the same thing with my children. I had to let all my phobias go. I can't do that.
How big of you?
Yeah, I'm a great
your
guy.
children touch you.
So, on occasion, yeah.
Okay.
Provided they were checked first, yes.
Right.
No,
right.
with them, I'm a different guy.
Are you still in therapy twice
Yes,
a week?
I need to be. I used to be in 4 days a week, but now I'm in there 2 days a week, and I need to be there.
Do you see a man or a woman?
A man. It was very important that I see a man.
Why?
Because I had father issues.
Right.
And there was a great guy in my life who changed my life. His name is Dr. John Sarno.
Mm-hmm.
And when he started treating me, he said to me, I think you'd really benefit from therapy. You've got a lot of issues, but I want you to see a male therapist. And he gave me the name of a therapist that he thought would be good with me. And I went to see him, I don't even know how many years ago, 30 years ago. Went to see the guy, and I didn't know what to make of it. I never had someone pay attention to me in that way. And I get emotional thinking about it. You son of a bitch. Because I get really emotional thinking about it. I never had anyone listen to me that way. Now, I had millions of listeners. 1 out of every 4 cars on the highway were listening to me.
This is pre-Beth?
This is pre-Beth, yeah.
Okay.
This was about the time that I got divorced, or just about going through it. And I sat down in his office, and he said, tell me something about yourself. And I went into my best routines about my parents. That's what I figured you'd do. I've seen Woody Allen movies when you go to the psychiatrist. So I sat there, and I started to do this fabulous routine, and I'm doing an impression of my mother, and I'm like, Howard, You've got to pay attention. You're not being safe. He's an idiot. He's a moron. And I'm going into this material that usually makes people really laugh.
How'd that go?
He had a straight face. He goes, why are you laughing? I don't find any of this funny. Well, that rocked my world.
Right.
Not from the sense that I was bombing in the room, but that had always charmed everyone. And kind of, I was able to manipulate the situation.
Right.
And suddenly this was somebody who was not able to be manipulated.
Like me right now.
Right. Like you. Well, you're like a therapist. Yeah, Andy, you're very, listen, I love you. You know that.
Interesting to me that you say you had never been heard until that moment.
Never.
Here you were coming out of a very long marriage.
Yeah, but I don't think I had opened up enough
Okay.
to be heard in my marriage. I don't think I opened up enough to be heard by anyone. No one. I was strictly hell-bent on my career.
Right.
And I had no concept of the outside world. I had no concept of how to be in the world. I'd never been taught how to be a man, and I never received really the love of a man. And and my mother, I think my mother was so damaged from her childhood that I don't think she, recently my mother gave me the greatest gift of all. I had a conversation with her. My mother's still alive. And she said to me, I didn't have a lot to give. And that really helped me.
Yeah.
For my mother to say that really helped me.
Did you ever have that moment with your dad?
Never.
Never.
In fact, when my father was dying, he was laying there in hospice. It was he was dying at home. We had to move him into this hospital. They call it hospital.
Yeah.
And I went to be with him. And I'm sitting there by myself with him in the room, and he's unconscious. He's he's pretty much gone. Not communicative. Eyes closed, laying in the bed. And the doctor says to me, let me shut the door so you can say your goodbyes to your father. And I panicked. I didn't know what to do because what would I say to my father? We never
Said
had
anything.
we never had that kind of intimacy.
Yeah.
So he shut the door, and I kissed my father's head, and I got really sad, and I said, I wish there was something to say. I wish we'd had more. I wish we could have known each other. And I felt, this is so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I don't know this man. And he was my hero. I wanted him only to love me and to be proud of me and, to take me under his wing, so to speak. It never really happened. So it was a sad occasion, honestly. It was sad.
Do you think your father was proud of you, by the way?
He was stone cold, and he had to be. The way he grew up was so awful.
Right.
If there was a competition, if we had a reality show about who had the worst life, my mother or my father, you would be hard-pressed to figure it out.
Wow.
You really would.
Well, then that explains, it's good that you realize that.
Yeah, I guess so, but it took a lot of years of therapy and a lot of years I was angry. I didn't know I was angry, but I didn't know what I was angry at. And therapy helped me to clear my mind and to see myself and write my own story and see who I was.
Are you in couples therapy?
No.
Should you be?
In couples therapy?
Yeah.
I think individual therapy is more important to my marriage than couples therapy. I think I take responsibility for me and my marriage.
Right.
And in order to come close and to be open, I have to work on myself. And anyone who's struggling, man, I recommend it. But here's the problem. Here's the rub. I think in this country, every country, we have a problem where it's very expensive to get a very good therapist.
Yeah.
It costs a lot of money.
Yes.
And the stuff that healthcare does cover, I'm sure some professionals are good, but some are also kind of not that good.
A possible topic for your therapist is how gay your show has evolved.
Yes, thank you.
Over the years. You all now are just dancing around your homosexuality. I mean, not even dancing. And
I think it's great. So much of locker room humor is really a bunch of guys sitting around, towel snapping, guys sitting, and it's very gay.
Yes.
Like being a bro is very gay. When I started on the radio, I was doing an impression of cool guys who were, in my mind, the coolest guys in the room.
Yeah.
It was a lot of hardcore shit, but most of that stuff, you go to the coolest fraternity on a college campus. What is the initiation? They put you in a room blindfolded.
Right.
They put him in a room with a bunch of naked guys, and then they blindfolded him. And they had pots of urine all over the place, so he thought they were pissing. They shoved a hot dog in his mouth while he was tied up naked. You talk about homoerotic.
Yeah, right. Right.
All that frat boy shit.
Here's my theory about part of the reason the show has gotten so gay.
Okay.
Okay. I think that you can get away with talking about every variety of gay sex and gay stuff and Cocktober and whatever. And if it were you all sitting around talking about tits and pussy, then you're all misogynist assholes and it won't play in 2025.
Well, it's funny you say that because we spend a lot of time on tits and pussy. We have Ronnie, the limo driver, who comes on and talks about eating out this one and how to do it, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, you're right. Maybe I'm putting too much into this. Normalizing gay people and gay activities and making people who are scared of homosexuals and scared of that they're going to become homosexuals. If we can normalize that, there is nothing worse in my mind than being born gay and having to deal with the shit that the heterosexual world hands you. And I somehow imagine that if I'm on the radio talking about, like with Chris Wilding, about his boyfriend and what they do with each other, and then I go, you know what, that's great. More women for me. You guys do whatever you want.
Right.
I'm not threatened by you guys. Let's talk about it more. What do? You shave your balls? You stick this in your ass? Who fucking cares? And I believe the people that I speak to need to hear that.
Well, let me tell you, and it was one of the things I wanted to say today. Thank you, because you were a voice, and you have been for us when nobody was saying it. So you were doing your, you were ribbing and making jokes and Mark Harris and this and that.
Yeah.
But truly, when it counted, you were one of the few voices. And I always viewed your voice as being so important because of who your listeners are and what they're hearing you say. So,
well, thank you. But what's so strange is it has to do with my upbringing. But my parents were incredibly strict, and at times my father was so cold as ice. Yet there was a full acceptance of the gay community.
Wow.
And this was unusual back then.
Very.
My cousin Stacy was a guy who grew up in a bad part of Brooklyn. He was gay, and he had a lot of shit. My cousin Richie too, because he had a fight for his brother. It was a mess. But I remember my mother setting up Stacy on a date with a guy. It didn't work out. They did not like each other. But I thought, oh, wow. And I said to my mother, what, you set up cousin Stacy. She goes, yeah, what's with the fuss? Who cares? And I was raised in that kind of environment.
That's
where
big.
It didn't matter. And don't forget too, even just sort of, it was weird. My mother was such an unusual person. I grew up in a black community. I was one of 3 white guys. Because my mother was like, I'm not afraid of black skin. Every white person we know moved away.
Right.
She put her money where her mouth was. I mean, I got the shit beaten out of me, but okay.
There you go.
There you go.
But you accept gay people.
Well, yeah, but I mean, listen, why does anybody give a fuck whether you're with a man or a woman?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
If someone could explain that to me, I don't get it. But getting back to the radio show, sitting and talking about gay stuff should be as normal as we do when we talk about women.
Well, I agree.
Yeah, I know you agree.
Thinking about the run of the Howard Stern show and where you are now, you don't really, you always, one of the things that was great about the show as it went on through the years is you always had people that you were against. It was you fighting the establishment or the FCC or this person or that person. And I think about who are Howard Stern's kind of enemies at this point or punching bags. And I get the sense that you've either publicly or privately kind of mended fences with them. But it seems like Oprah might be the only kind of Howard Stern foe or enemy that you still have.
Oprah.
You do?
I follow Oprah. I enjoy watching Oprah.
Have you spoken to her ever?
Never. I think she's a friend. I know Gayle King very well.
Yes.
And I think at one point she suggested, we should get together with Oprah. I said, you better check with Oprah.
Yeah,
You better, don't surprise her with me.
Right.
No, I'm fascinated by Oprah. I like sometimes how Oprah is so unaware. Maybe she is aware, but I suspect I'm an Oprah follower. But sometimes she's unaware of the sort of ways she shows her wealth.
Okay. Yes.
I I couldn't do that. I'm not saying that she's wrong. We all know she's wealthy. But I think in the world right now, there is such a disparity between those who have and those who have not.
Right.
And only getting worse. I can imagine watching this, some woman or man who's struggling. And maybe it's not, so I find it funny.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit there and tell you I don't think it's funny. I go, wow, Oprah is unapologetically wealthy. And she spread, and good for her. But it's, I don't hate Oprah at all. I think she's brilliant.
Is that why you RSVP'd no to the Bezos wedding?
Oh, God. You see, that's the point. You didn't go to that, did you?
No, I didn't.
Those people really need to get a fucking handle on what's going on in the world. I don't leave my house, but I know what the fuck is going on. And don't ask me how I know. But that Bezos wedding, it just is it's a bad look.
Is there an era of the Howard Stern show that you can objectively look back on and say, that was the golden era of this show?
No, I don't look at it that way. The show has to constantly change and evolve. At my age now, it can't be what I did when I was 20.
Right.
It can't be when I was 30. The times were different. The norms were different. When I started the show, all I thought about was, I've got to break down every taboo.
Right.
They say I can't talk about sex. I'd have porn stars in every day. And I wasn't there to do it. Yes, it was salacious, obviously. But at the same point, too, it seemed to me to stick a thumb in the eye and to talk about religion, to talk about sexuality, talk about drug use, anything you weren't supposed to. Why is everything so fucking taboo? And so I was a young, angry guy. I didn't think about the consequences of anything I said. Everything, in my family, my mother would say, and this was wrong, language doesn't matter. What you say doesn't matter. Actions matter. So in my warped mind.
Wow.
I would think, yes, everything's on the table.
Right.
Let's just say whatever the fuck is in your head.
Right.
And I did. When I went into therapy, I started to examine my life. And there were things I didn't like about the show and I didn't like about me. And it was a long haul. There was a tremendous narcissism. They say in therapy you can't cure narcissism. I disagree. I think you can. There's now an awareness.
Are you a former narcissist?
I believe so.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Your narcissistic tendencies are gone.
No, they're not gone. I understand them. And
Okay.
I understand what drives them.
Okay.
And really what it is a need to be heard, to be seen. It all has all the underlying shit, how bad you feel about yourself. That's what's tricky about narcissism. You train yourself to turn off emotionally. It's your only defense as a child.
Right.
You have to turn off emotionally. So that's what they do. And that's what I did. I didn't know I was doing it. But nevertheless, that's what I did. And yeah, I think that there was a way. I'm taking some lemon.
You're sucking on lemons?
Yeah, I do that in the
Interesting.
morning. When I don't know. Yeah, well, I got over a cold and I was kind of disgustingly phlegmy. And then you take a lemon and you go like this. And it rocks your world.
Really?
It clears your throat.
All right.
It's horrible.
How do you, I listen to a lot of Howard 101. Do you listen to 101 much?
Yeah, when I'm in my car.
When you listen to, I love the Jackie years and I love the Artie years. And and it reminds me, Jackie and Artie, they had very big voices.
Yeah, they were the best.
They were really around. How would you define the Jackie years as you look back on them?
Well, all of the years were great. I mean, my philosophy in radio was, I'm not the star so much. I'm more an orchestra leader.
Yep.
And maybe you relate to this. I felt what was interesting on the radio, when I was a kid and would listen to the radio, all you heard was either music radio, and I would wait for little moments, little tiny moments where maybe you'd hear a noise in the background or somebody would say something off mic. People don't know how bad radio was.
Right.
And when I would start to think about radio shows, and I was 5 years old when I started thinking about radio shows, I was saying, I want to hear the people that are in the room with them. I want to know, bring me into the fucking room. And then I would listen to talk shows. And the best one out there was Bob Grant on the radio. He was phenomenal entertainer. a conservative guy, but it didn't matter. He was a great entertainer. He was everything Rush Limbaugh would have wished he could be. And Rush Limbaugh was a great entertainer. Don't get me wrong. Anybody who could command that kind of audience is a good entertainer. I don't agree with him, but a good entertainer. But Bob Grant was the pinnacle for me. And I would listen, but the one thing missing was I wanted to hear other people with him. And so when I began to put together the concept for the show, I felt like I was like it was like the Wizard of Oz. Everywhere I walked down the yellow brick road, I'd pick up another person, someone interesting, someone who added to the mix, so that the orchestra sounded full. And at one point that was Jackie. At one point it was Artie. It's always been Robin. Robin is my audience. I don't get to see an audience. I'm sitting in a room alone like we are now. Robin represented the audience to me.
Yeah.
And even though the audience in my mind at that time was a guy driving to work, which was essentially my father. So I wanted it to be wild. I wanted it to be fast. I wanted it to be in your face. And whoever fit in that moment was the right fit. So I wouldn't say one was better than the other.
Right.
I wouldn't say this or that, but the core has always been Robin, Fred, and Gary. And then we've added to it now that we're at Sirius, which I love.
Yeah.
I love that we have the budget to do that.
Do you regret the way everything went down with Jackie?
No, not at all. I mean, I begged the guy. I said, dude, you got the best job you're ever going to get. This is it. But, I guess he felt otherwise. No, I don't regret a thing about it.
Was that the last time you spoke to him?
No, I gave Jackie a job here at Sirius. He wanted a job, and he said to me, he took me out to dinner. Well, actually, I paid. But we went out to dinner, and he said, hey, I have this idea for a show, Jackie's Joke Hunt.
Right.
And I said, well, do it. And then he started to tell me that it's terrible. He doesn't own the show. I own the show. I said, you know what? Here, you own the show. You can have it. I don't want to get back into this.
Here we are.
Yeah, here we are again.
Yes.
But no, I don't hold any animosity to Jackie. Artie was fantastic on the show. I love Artie, and I hope he's doing well.
When was the last time you spoke to Artie?
Oh, I saw him when Robin was in the hospital. Robin, I guess it was 12 years ago when she had her surgery.
Yeah.
It was a horrible, horrible fucking moment. But Artie was there, and we talked at the hospital. I think that was the last time I saw him. You know what? I'm the worst on. I might be wrong on that, but I would think that's it.
When you look towards continuing what has been a historic run, I would assume that this question is the question that you are asking yourself, which is, in what ways is doing this show still a positive experience for you?
Well,
or fun for you?
I guess you could say I've done everything. What's left to do? But there's always interesting people to talk to. Every day there's something in the news. I still like having an audience. I don't know what it would be like for me not to have that rush of like, hey, I'm sitting in the house. I've got some shit to say. I got an idea for something really funny. I kind of need to get on the microphone.
Yeah.
I don't need to, it used to be I had to be on 5-6 days a week.
Yeah.
Early in my career.
Clearly that era has ended.
Yeah, no, you get older, you can't do it as well. So, and also podcasting changed that. People, the way they accept shows now, they don't think of radio as the daily thing. I look at our show as we do a 3-hour show, we do it 3 days a week. That's 9-10 hours of content every week. And so we're doing 10 hours where other people are doing a half hour, an hour. You know what I mean?
You are so annoyed by the podcasters.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't be? Guys like you now are doing radio, and it's annoying as fuck because, this is old man stuff.
So nasty.
Yeah, of course it is. Well, I'm a narcissist. I told you that. No, but in all seriousness.
At least you understand that you're being an asshole.
I want it all for myself. Yes. When I first got on the radio, I couldn't understand how someone on the dial was getting one listener. I felt everyone should be listening to me. I was like, I am doing great fucking radio. And the ratings came out. 1 in every 4 cars on the Long Island Expressway were tuned into me. And I thought, well, these other 3 cars, what are they listening to? Why would they be doing that? How could I think they're lying.
Right.
I remember we went on in Canada. The way they took their ratings, they had a radar gun like they have, when you speed.
Right.
And we were number 1 in a day Because the radar gun doesn't lie. It can pick up what people
Right.
are listening
Wow.
to. We were number one in a day, and they threw us off the air after a week.
I say this every time I'm on the show, and you haven't given me an answer. Why did you get rid of the news?
Well, we got rid of the news because we went to a 3-hour format.
Okay.
And
It took too long?
Well, you know what it would be? At the end of the 3 hours, we would sort of do this block of news.
Yes. It could be 15 minutes. It could be an hour.
So Robin and I were talking, and I said, why don't we just talk about what we want in the body of the show?
Right.
So that at the end of the show, when I'm fizzled out and passed out in the chair, why are we waiting to the end of the show? Why not just talk about whatever topics in the news we want to talk about and weave it into the body of the show, which is what we do. And so, the news is a weird thing. Like all of a sudden the show is now the news. But the whole show is the news.
Well,
we didn't really get rid of anything. But it's a perception.
I feel like there was a topicality about...
Andy,
yeah.
I've been doing this for, almost 50 years?
Yeah.
Trust that I know what I'm doing.
All right. Well, I've been listening for a long time.
Yeah, but
so
I did the right thing.
Giving you some feedback.
Yeah, well, what is the feedback that we should bring back? Do you want me to bring back the news?
That is the feedback.
You want that? You want the news back?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Well, I'll talk to Robin about it because God knows we want you to be happy.
I appreciate that you...
do you do the news on your show?
We do.
So you do?
We do when we have time. Yeah, but I want to hear you do it.
You want to hear me do the news?
I do.
All right, I'll talk to Robin. Maybe we'll do some news.
When it comes to feeding your pop culture addiction,
talk about a rewatch.
Receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots.
You can never get enough Andy.
Unbelievable.
Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, all new every Sunday through Thursday on Bravo and Peacock.
I appreciate so much that you got political, and because you spoke up for what you believe in. And I'm really at this point kind of struggling with biting my tongue because it seems like the news is the news, the real news.
Do you ever get political?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you do?
I do. How hard is it right now for you to bite your tongue? And I want to know if you had a plan to go kind of balls to the walls before the election and then lock it up no matter what happened.
Look, the important thing was before the election to really speak out and get it done. You and I have talked about this off the air. And if you have a platform like we do, you have to say to yourself, let me get some lemon because I'm having
Spilkes.
Spilkes is not, you're Yiddish. Do you know what Spilkes is?
What?
When you're sitting on Spilkes, you're like sitting on the edge, on the nerves.
Okay, all right.
I have
Fakakta?
No, not Fakakta. Where did you grow? Are you Jewish?
Yeah.
The name's
St. Louis.
Cohen.
Yeah, what do you think? Oh, you got my name right.
I know your name.
Oh, this is big.
It's just funnier to call you Andy Cohen.
Oh, okay.
It's funny to get your name wrong.
Is it?
Yeah, of course. It drives you crazy.
I wouldn't say it drives me crazy. As a matter of fact, I would say I notice it once every 4 times. I'll be sitting there and I'm like...
I know exactly what I'm doing when I do it.
Yeah, okay.
And I know if I say Andy Cohen, it also...
I'm happy for you to
It will
admit
also
that.
put you in a category where you haven't gotten to the point where anyone should really know your name.
I
It keeps you.
understand. It's demeaning.
It
Yeah, it keeps me
demeaning.
down.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay.
I what's the difference? But what were we talking
What's the
about?
difference?
Yeah, what were we talking? Cohen.
It's my name.
Nobody knows. Yeah, but it's only
Yeah.
meaningful to you. No, but in all seriousness, I know your name.
Okay, great. Wow.
Cohen.
Yes. Okay. So was it your plan to speak until the election
You know
and
what?
then stop?
When it was important to do, was when people were going to vote. And I try to say to the audience, I think we're at a really pivotal time that I don't understand or comprehend. But please listen to me and take what I'm saying seriously. And they didn't. I mean, maybe my audience did,
Right.
but people, they're like locked in, man. I don't think there's anything you could say or do to change their opinion.
Right.
It's weird, but whatever, Do
Do you regret it?
It's a very weird thing, especially when it comes to Donald Trump. Donald and I were friends, and
He came to your wedding. You went to one
I went
of his
to his
weddings.
wedding. I like Donald a lot. I told you, Donald was the greatest radio guest on my show.
Classic Stern Show guest.
He was the best. And I was actually at Mar-a-Lago when he announced that he was going to run for president. And I thought it was kind of a funny move. It's smart because he was in a negotiation on The Apprentice and they were dicking him around. And he was smart. He was like, hey, I'll go on and NBC will notice that I'm more worthwhile and they'll give me a better contract. That's all I thought of it. And when it caught on, I was really caught by surprise. So I always had this great relationship and a friendship. He was one of the nicest people to me, and I still maintain that. But I didn't agree with the politics. And so he took that very personally. He took it personally. Now, in our world, in the United States of America, you can still be friends with someone and disagree with them politically. But he couldn't accept that. He didn't like that. He wanted me to introduce him at the Republican convention. And I said, you know, I'm being honest. I'm a Hillary supporter. It would be weird. So he took great offense to that.
Was that the last time you spoke to him?
Yeah.
It seems like if you decided not to come back, he would say, oh, Howard got killed because he went woke and he got canceled.
I'm real woke.
That's a reason for you to stay on.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. I even said to my wife the other night, now I can't fucking leave this.
That's right.
Because everyone now with the internet and all of the bullshit, everyone goes, well, you see, look at the glee. For some reason, the media, when it was announced that I was kicked off the air, I was on vacation, and the next thing I know, I was in Stephen Colbert land, where I was being thrown off by the FCC somehow. I don't know, whatever it was, or because I'm too woke, and meanwhile, none of it was true. But the glee in every broadcaster, you see, he came down because he's too woke. I don't even know what a woke is. What is woke? The fact
how did we get here?
If I'm too woke, the world has turned upside down. I mean, holy shit, the stuff I do and talk about, I don't even know what that means. But you know what? If it means I'm awakened, God bless. I think woke means because if you like black people, or if you aren't threatened by gay people, or if you...
It might mean that you care about other people.
Yeah, I mean, it's suddenly not macho to give a fuck about anybody, but everyone gives a fuck about their family, their life. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't get the world right now. But if I'm woke, great. I don't give a two shits. But I'm not being fired. I'm talking to Sirius right now about extending in some way. And if that works out, great. And if it doesn't, great. Well, not great. I love this company. I do. You know, and this is the truth. And when I was teasing you about saying your name wrong, I am so thrilled that somehow I was a part of creating a space, a company, where a guy like you could come in and entertain. No, I'm being serious.
Okay.
This was my dream. This company, you know, when I signed on, I don't even think we had 300,000. I think it was 200,000 subscribers. XM was killing us.
Right.
And my dream, just like when I used to go to shitty radio stations, let's fucking win. And when
you did it.
Yeah. And I sat in the office and they said, how many radios can you sell? And I said, I have no idea, but let's go for it.
Right.
Give me a shot.
Right.
And now today, there's this robust company that is broadcasting, and a guy like you comes on and you create Radio Andy, and they're right wing and left wing and music, and you know, there's every kind of thing you could want.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud of it. And if I do end up staying with this company, I'm going to take ownership of that.
As you should. You built it. What would you say to listeners who were pissed off that you went so
woke?
Political.
Well, tune into the political.
That you got so political.
Yeah, I know. I mean, but how do you? The Times just seem to. You know what I tell them? I tell them, God bless you. Do whatever the fuck you want. You want to listen, listen. Don't listen. I mean, what am I going to do? Beg them to listen? I suspect people who were pissed. Yeah, you know, I watch some people. I see some people now who I used to love, and they've gone off the wall, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I can't stomach them now.
Who?
I don't want to say. But there were certain people who I loved.
Yeah.
And you could probably guess. These people are out of their minds.
Yes.
And so what do I say to people who can't handle my opinion? I get it. You're entrenched in what you feel.
Right.
I don't want to do a political show. I've never done a political show. I don't. And even now, The people have voted. I don't really get into the politics of the thing. I did speak up when it was really necessary on Jimmy Kimmel.
I have to assume you're biting your tongue right now, though, because you read the news. You're very engaged.
Yeah, I do bite my tongue sometimes. I've said it on the air. I go, I'm dying to talk about this. I said, but I'm done with it, man.
Right.
Because, the consequences now of speaking out it's really fucking heavy shit. So I pick and choose my moments. I don't like people who don't speak out. If you don't speak out, you're a pussy. But look, some of these shows, they're all acting like we're in the 1950s, and nobody has an opinion. Those times have gone out the window. You really don't have an opinion. Get some fucking balls and give your opinion.
It felt for a lot of your early career that your Jewishness was not really a thing. But it seems like maybe you're kind of more into it these days. And I'm wondering kind of
I'm not Jewish, first of all. You are.
What is your relationship?
I grew up not liking Jews.
What is your relationship to being Jewish or Judaism?
Judaism was a blessing and a curse.
Okay.
Growing up, I lived in a tremendously anti-Semitic setting. Maybe it was just me that people didn't like, but there were some bad scenes going on. And being an outcast in any society, whether you're Jewish, gay, black, if you're not in the majority,
right,
you're going to have to deal with some shit. And what can I say? That's you walk into a room and you know right away who's Jewish. You feel the fucking heat on your back. If you're in a room where there aren't any Jews and you're wondering what people say, you
feel that way now?
I will always feel that way. I will always feel that way. The way I grew up, you know what's going on. You think you know what's in people's minds too. You just can't get comfortable. And so that's why, call it woke or whatever the fuck you want. I empathize with anybody who's got to go through that shit. I can't imagine what it's like to be black, to walk into a room and no whitey staring at you. I mean, I actually experienced it because I grew up in a black community.
Right.
I was the white guy in the room, and I just wanted to be black. I mean, whenever you're the outcast, it's miserable. And so, yeah, early on in my career, I would, I didn't make it an issue. But I'd always put Yiddish in all the sketches and all that stuff. I think you look at this face, I was born I was slapped a yarmulke when I was born.
Yeah.
So, it's not any secret. But,
Have you gotten more into it as you've gotten older and shed your narcissism?
No, I never really got a great feeling from religion. It was forced on me. And that was the other weird thing. You're kind of born into something where you go, wait, somebody hates me because I don't know where I don't even know. And then I'd hear, wow, these Jewish people they're all rich and they control everything. I go, when am I going to get into that club?
Right.
I was like we lived in a shithole.
Right.
My cousins, my uncles, they all lived in shitholes.
Right.
And I was like, where are these Jews who are supposed to, maybe when you get bar mitzvah, they unlock the keys to the kingdom or something.
Right.
But it just doesn't exist. But there's this thing, where you sit there in our society and go, hey, I'm not succeeding. Who can I blame? We've seen it throughout history.
Right.
That's the part that I identify with. I will stand with people who are in this group with me, and I will always stick up for them because I know they're downtrodden.
Are you concerned about anti-Semitism?
Of course, but it's always been here.
Right.
Guess what? This kind of thing has been. I haven't seen it change. It's never going to change. People have to hate. It's just part of who we are. Because there are people who can't get what they want, and they've got to blame someone, and they will not blame themselves.
Okay, I'm going to make a right turn. True or false? True or false?
How is it over yet, Andy?
No.
Oh, okay.
True or false? I'm reclaiming my time.
Yeah.
Eric the actor
yes, Eric
was
the
the greatest whack packer of all time.
It's,
True or false?
Let me think about that for a second.
Okay.
I don't want to answer that frivolously. Eric the actor, well, you got Beetlejuice. Beetle was great, but Beetle was more visual. Eric the actor with Hank the Angry Dwarf. Oh, my God. This guy was so great. He was so great. Okay. Eric was. But Eric wasn't, Eric was an acquired taste. There were plenty of listeners who would say, please don't put on Eric ever again.
Right.
But they missed the point.
Yes.
Eric was the most delightful human being on the planet in this sense. Here was a guy. He was club-footed. He was no more than 3 feet tall. He was bound in a wheelchair. He could barely move his body. He was in constant pain. And the guy loved life. He loved wrestling. He loved calling into my show. He loved mixing it up with people. He loved American Idol.
Right.
Like, you see so many people miserable who are able-bodied, and they have so much going for them. This kid, it brings me to tears to think about how beautiful he was. And that's what I loved about him. And he suddenly he wanted an acting career. Here's a guy crumpled up in a chair, and he wants an acting career. And I get him a job in New Mexico on the set of a TV show.
Yeah.
And now he's arguing with the producers that his writer isn't proper, and he wants to make sure there are no werewolves. I mean, this is brilliant. This is great. This is what I mean about being an orchestra leader.
Yes.
This guy maybe would have called into some other show and would have been tossed aside.
Yeah. Yes.
I heard him and I said, this is gold.
Did you ever speak to his family off the air? Or
No,
communicate with
I don't
them?
know. He didn't want that. He had a handler,
You spoke to him off the air.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if I don't know. Did I? I don't even know.
I wonder what his family thought of this whole thing. If he thought that, was he in on the joke? Was he not in on the joke?
He wasn't. I remember he went to the bunny ranch on us.
Yeah.
He had never had sex with a woman. That's all he wanted.
Yeah.
And he went to the bunny ranch, and I thought, oh, God, is this a good thing or a bad thing? And I went, he's an adult.
Yeah.
Well, who am I to decide if that's a good thing? That's what he wants to do. Let him go. He was so fucking happy, the guy. But I don't know. I never got that deep into it.
Right.
But I know he had a good time. And I know he loved it. I know he loved it. And I made sure that I checked in and made sure he loved it.
Why is your For You page on Instagram all lady boys?
Oh, my Instagram, why is it all lady boys?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I love it. I love lady boys.
You do?
I do. I love seeing the transformation.
Then are you a little gay?
I don't believe, in the sense that I am accepting of gay, is not the same as being gay.
That's not the same. But if you're looking at lady boys thinking they're beautiful,
I don't watch like gay porn or lady boy porn or chicks with dick porn or whatever you want to call it.
Babysitter porn.
Yeah, babysitter porn. But and that's a pretend scenario between two adults. I'm not actually watching real babysitters.
Understood.
Yeah, but I like somebody. Listen, I've talked about this ad nauseum, but the lady boy thing, I love to see a dude who became a woman. Hunter Schafer looks fantastic.
Yeah.
I watch Hunter Schafer.
Do you ever look at a guy who became a woman?
That's what we're talking about.
I'm sorry. A woman who became a guy.
Excuse
me.
What's the matter with you?
Do you ever look?
Where did you just go?
Do you ever look at a woman who became a guy?
No, that's not.
A man.
I mean, I will,
with a vagina.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I've had those guys on the show.
Okay.
It's not as much fun.
Right.
It's okay.
Right.
God bless. And again, I say God bless. I am not threatened by transgender.
Clearly you're not.
No. Why is anybody, though? Andy, explain it to me. Who gives a fuck?
They are the enemy from within at this point. I mean, the amount that Trump talks about trans people.
Well, you know what I would say
wild.
to him, and I would say to anybody. Do you think that someone would choose that life? You growing up, now you are convinced you're a woman, and now you have to come to everyone in society hates you.
Why would you do this to
Who
your...
the fuck would do this? You think Bruce Jenner really wanted to put on a dress? He had to. He wanted to be Bruce Jenner. He couldn't fucking handle it. But why would that bother me? It does not bother me in the slightest. Maybe there's something fucking wrong with me. And I think that's an important message to say, why are you so bothered by this?
It's so true.
Well, he might come into the ladies' room. Oh, he ain't looking for you. Don't worry, you fat fuck. It's too much, Andy. The world is too much. People are busybodies. They care too much about meaningless shit.
Well, it's so true. because this is supposed to be the moment of everybody should just do their own thing. But
Somebody said to me, "You really want to pay for affordable health care?" Yeah, I'd rather my tax money go to that than building another bomb. I'm for a strong military, but don't get me wrong, there's so much waste. Why wouldn't I want everyone in America to have some sort of health care?
Right.
Do I want 15 to 20 million people running around angry because their family can't get hospitalized? You don't want that.
Right.
Help them out.
Right.
But I had to pay full of, so what?
When it comes to feeding your pop culture addiction,
Talk about a rewatch.
Receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots.
you can never get enough Andy.
Unbelievable.
Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, all new every Sunday through Thursday on Bravo and Peacock.
As you negotiate your deal at your next incarnation,
Yes.
is there a scenario? What do you want to happen to your archive, I guess?
Oh.
Does Sirius re-up with you for the archive every time they re-up? Like, do you still own it?
One of the things that I will tell you is that when I make a deal with Sirius, they don't want me talking about it, and I don't want them talking about it. But they do consider that material very important.
Yes,
So-
they should.
Yeah. So that's
Who
that's
owns
all.
it?
I do. The crazy thing is, when I was on regular radio, this is how nutty radio was. Nobody ever thought to record a show. No one. And I went to the management. I said, if you guys would record my show, when I was at Infinity Broadcast, think
Yeah,
about this.
yes,
this is insane.
Crazy. This is
I
crazy.
said, if you guys would record my show, we could take the tapes, and when I'm on vacation, you
play
could
the
play a
rerun.
best
Yeah,
of.
yeah.
They said, absolutely not. I go, why not? They go, first of all, cassettes are a lot of money.
Wow.
It takes 4 cassettes to record
One episode.
one episode of the Howard Stern Show. I go, are you
Cassettes.
fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Well, finally, they made a trade deal for the tape, meaning they didn't have to pay cash. And so I was allowed to record my shows. And of course, I didn't own them, but we used them. And it had never been done before. A year later, every radio show in
Of
the
course.
country started recording their shows and doing it. This is how lame fucking radio was.
If only they had recorded your Lenny and the Squigtones interview.
Oh my God.
I mean,
I would not want to hear that. I would not want to
do.
hear that.
I do. But that's incredible that you got them to record the show.
They wouldn't do
And
it.
here we are. So how many years does the show go back? When did you start?
I started recording the show back in the 90s, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have some shows from NBC, very few. But, you know, it was it was fucked up. It wasn't really, they didn't allow me to do what I needed to do.
I was going to ask you if you really were pissed when Jennifer Witz had a picture of me behind her and not you.
Absolutely
Or
not.
if that was a bit.
Of course it was a bit.
But actually,
But
talking
actually,
to
I
you
was pissed
today,
off. Actually, I
I
was pissed
actually
off.
think it was not. I thought it was a bit. And
Jennifer
I actually
Witz-
think you
Jennifer
were pissed
Witz,
off.
yeah.
And I think you were pissed off because it was me. And I
No.
think, yes.
I adore you.
Absolutely. no.
Jennifer Witz should not have a picture of you in a prominent space. It should be me. And I had to correct what was going on.
Wow.
Let's be honest.
This point,
Why would
you
Jennifer?
are
No
rich
offense
as
to you.
Roosevelt.
Wait a
what
second.
do you care?
One of the things I have to say is, and Jennifer, you should really interview Jennifer. We both should
I would rather interview you.
about this.
Okay.
And we should say, you know, really, why Andy Cohen? No offense, but why Andy Cohen? Why would you? Why would you?
You're trying to piss me off.
Yeah, I know.
You're not.
Why would you put a picture of Andy? I mean, haven't I given my soul to this
But
company?
why does it have to be about you?
It is about me.
Why?
Because I told you I'm a narcissist.
Okay, but deconstruct it. You're a deconstructed narcissist.
It is, Andy, you're my brother, and I have sibling rivalry.
Okay.
I don't want
Okay.
to share my mom with you.
Okay.
Jennifer is our mom, and you are getting attention that I am not getting. And I am starved for attention and love. And that is the saddest thing I can tell you about myself. And if I take that seriously, I'll start to cry. I can't live with Jennifer having a picture of my brother on her desk.
Wow.
It's too hard.
Wow.
I need someone to pay attention to me. Okay? Now you got the truth.
You don't
You
need
sucked it out of me.
You don't need someone to pay attention to you. You need everyone. to
Well,
pay attention
that's
to
the
you.
sad thing.
Yes, it is.
That's what drives a maniac to go on the radio and
Yes.
get his father's love.
Wow.
Wow, you are learning a lot today, aren't
I
you?
really
This
am.
is awfully revealing.
Trump was at your wedding.
Trump was at my wedding.
Wow. And
Yeah.
you were at how many of his weddings?
One, Marla Maples.
Marla Maples.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, it's so funny when you look at.
And by the way, Mar-a-Lago is the greatest place to have dinner. I don't go there
I'm
anymore.
sure.
So I had to sacrifice a lot.
Yeah. Wow, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Don't you miss Joan Rivers?
I miss her like every minute of the day. I love that woman.
Me too.
Joan Rivers was the greatest, and she devoted her life to comedy.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not into memorabilia, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I don't really care about it.
Oh my God.
There's a
I
couple
know
of
what
pieces.
you're about to say at the auction.
No,
Oh.
what happened to me was Melissa asked me to deliver her eulogy. Were you at her funeral?
I was.
Okay.
Yeah.
She asked me to deliver her,
Yeah.
and I had never done that before, ever,
Right.
at anybody's funeral.
Yeah.
And so I went up and gave the speech, and Melissa said, I want to thank you. I've only given away one other person this card. It was a card from Joan's archive. She used to use the Dewey Decimal
Yes.
System, a library
Yes.
of
For
cards.
her jokes.
And she gave me one of Joan's vagina jokes.
Wow.
Where something about she suctioned to the floor,
Right.
I don't know. It
Yes.
sits on my desk.
Right.
That card is so
Yes.
meaningful to me. And I have a couple other pieces of memorabilia that are meaningful to me.
Yeah.
But that one is the highlight. The highlight.
That's so funny.
She was so good to me
Yeah.
and so kind to me. She came on my show back in the day, like when she was the guest host on The Tonight Show.
Yeah.
She came on NBC Radio with me.
Right.
Nobody would go near me.
Uh-huh.
People would run out of the fucking room when they
Yeah.
were with me. I was insane.
Yeah.
Maniac on the air.
Yep.
Sly from Sly and the Family Stone ran out of the fucking room when I was
Wow.
on.
Wow.
Gilda ran out of the room.
Wow.
All because I was a madman.
Yeah.
Joan loved it.
Wow.
Joan and David Brenner.
Wow.
But Joan loved it. And Joan got what I was doing. And Joan was the first celebrity ever to invite me to her home.
Wow.
She had a townhouse.
Yeah.
It was back in the day when AIDS was just first happening.
Yeah.
There was a young woman who got AIDS, first time she had sex and
Oh,
got AIDS. And her mother, she was having a party for her
right.
to just, make her feel better. And Joan invited me. And I couldn't believe Joan, like a celebrity was having me in their home.
Right.
Like, who would do that?
Right. Right.
Like,
right,
I was
right,
nuts.
right.
But she was wonderful. And it was funny. I go, Joan, you're a Jewish woman. What kind of fucking party is this? She would serve little sandwiches with the crust cut off. I
Right,
go,
right.
You're Jewish.
goyish.
Yeah, what do you do?
Yeah.
And tea.
Yeah.
I go, what are you, fucking in England?
Right.
This is America.
Right.
Where's the food?
It's funny you say that because there is a Joan Rivers auction right now, and I've been bidding on something that I want for the clubhouse to put on the set
Oh,
of my
wow.
show. of
What is it?
Joan. I don't want to say
Oh,
it because
yeah,
I
right,
don't want
yeah.
to drive up the bidding, but you, but it's funny that you say that because when I think of it, I'm now 16 years into doing this TV show on Bravo.
She would have loved
And
your show.
She came on. She
Oh.
was one of the early people. She came in a snowstorm live at 11 o'clock. We had been on the air for a year. I waited for her in front of the building. I'm like, this woman is coming to do this for me. I mean,
She was
it's
so
incredible.
great. When
Is there-
I was getting the shit beaten out of me at NBC,
Yeah.
she was the type who would go and say to the management, Howard is brilliant. Howard,
Right.
is, like who stands up
No,
and does that?
that's
You know what I mean?
amazing.
Whether I was brilliant or not wasn't
Right.
the point. She stuck up for me.
Is there another celebrity during the run of your show that you feel like came on and legitimized your show?
David Brenner.
Uh-huh.
David Brenner was the greatest guy. Early on, he said, I get what you're doing. And you know what else? There was one guy, I was doing the Tonight Show with Jay Leno, and I'd done it many times. I get a call in my house from Rodney Dangerfield,
Wow.
who said, I didn't know Rodney from a hole in the wall. He said, I'm calling you because no one ever did it for me. That thing you did he goes, I get it, and it was fantastic.
Wow.
And I want you to know it. It was so Rodney, the greatest.
Yeah.
Rodney, fucking Rodney said this to me, and it was so good. So, but early in the early days, it was Joan Rivers and David Brenner who were my two biggest supporters in terms of someone in show business, who would really champion my cause.
I think I know the answer to this, but who has been the person or people that once you got them in the studio and they were sitting across from you and maybe playing you a song or whatever,
Right.
that you still, after all this time on the show, that you still look back on and say, I cannot fucking believe that happened.
Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
It's got to be. I mean,
Yeah.
and I've been trying to play guitar now for a year and a half,
Okay.
rather poorly. But the other day I'm sitting at my house playing Blackbird on the guitar.
Yeah.
It is so fucking brilliant. It is so, just here, bear with me because I suck. But when I think about this guy and what he can do, first of all, he sings and he plays at the same time and he writes these brilliant songs. But he gets, you know when Blackbird he starts, he hits this, right? Right? That's the first note. You know it instantly. Then he goes to here, and then he goes to here. But right here, he comes up and he goes, just there. It goes right through my body.
Yeah.
And I go, this guy is a genius.
Yeah.
A genius. So he's sitting in my studio, and you talk about memorabilia. Paul walks in, and this moved me to no end, Andy. He walks into my studio, and he gave me one of his a bass guitar signed Paul McCartney. That sits in my home, man.
Yeah.
I love that. But he is a true genius. And interviewing him,
That was it.
and quite frankly, it's happened, I think, 2 or 3 times. I don't remember how many.
Yeah.
But if he gave me 10 times, I would do it every single time. All he has to do is give me the word.
Yeah.
Musicians really move me.
Yeah.
And now that I'm trying to play guitar, do you play any instruments?
No.
Try to learn guitar.
I would
It is
love
so
to.
difficult. So when Bruce Springsteen came
Yeah.
in, and we sat, and Nebraska to me is one of the most brilliant albums I have ever heard. I listen to it all the time, and it moves me to tears. And to think that Bruce Springsteen sat with me twice, and it was some of the best fucking radio I've ever done. It was just so beautiful, and he was beautiful, and his wife was beautiful. It was just perfect. And then it was aired on HBO, and it was just very, very special.
Yeah.
Nothing can equal that
Right,
for me. You know what I
exactly.
mean?
If you look at your list of people, like who
Yeah. And so it was Paul, it was Bruce. There's a lot of musicians.
maybe you'll interview Oprah for HBO.
I would sit down with Oprah. Oprah wouldn't sit down with me. I think Oprah feels, you know what? Oprah doesn't need it.
Right.
You know what? I'm going to advise Oprah, stay away from me
Right.
because
It's like
you don't need it.
you don't need it, which is why you don't do interviews.
Yeah, I don't. But this I'll do anytime. If we could do another one, then I could get another day off.
Well, I appreciate you doing this. And I also really appreciate you doing it because you are, I would like to point out, promoting nothing. In fact,
Zero.
you are in negotiation right now with Sirius. As part of your negotiation, are you talking about ever gracing the 36th floor of Radio Andy Tower?
I'm going in next week.
Come on.
Yeah, I go in. Andy,
right.
I go in. You know, Andy, you have the wrong impression of me.
Do I?
By the way, I should say this interview is going on in my home. So Andy is here.
Yes.
And the only other person I've had in my home was Jimmy Fallon.
Yes.
To do it. So he's
very special.
Have you ever had him on your show?
Yes.
Oh,
he was on last week, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I'm a
No,
shut-in.
you wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't know.
Yes.
But was he
Yes.
fantastic?
He was great.
He's
the
pretty
best.
great.
I love him.
Yeah, he is a true entertainer.
Yes, he is.
Have you ever socialized with him?
Yes, I have.
This guy will get up at a party.
Oh.
And he will make the party.
Yes, he will.
Sometimes I feel bad because it's almost like it's a responsibility, but he loves
He
entertaining.
does. He should run for mayor in New York.
He is something else. That guy is pure entertainment. I was with him one night at Steve Martin's, and he got up and started playing the guitar and doing a shtick.
Yeah,
And I was like, man, he's got balls
he does have
in
balls.
front of Steve.
Yeah.
I couldn't even talk in front of Steve.
Why are you coming in the building next week?
J-Lo will be
Oh,
here, and
great.
we're gonna sit down and have a long conversation.
That's great.
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
So
wow, you're schlepping into the city for J-Lo.
being in for J-Lo.
Wow.
J-Lo, you know that J-Lo has sold over 80 million albums?
know that.
That is, you did know that?
Yeah.
How do you know that?
Because I know she's on my show. As a matter of fact, I'm taping her today.
Oh, you are?
Yes, I'm
Oh,
going
I
back to the city.
I think I'm getting her last. I think she's been on every show. Well,
But guess what?
what?
There's no interview like Howard Stern.
Andy.
So it doesn't matter. Well, but it's
you
true.
flatter me. Listen,
Do you
let me
not
say
agree?
something to you.
Do you not agree,
You know how fond I am of you, right?
Yes.
I really am.
Mr. Cohen?
And I want to thank Mr. Cohen for doing that bit the other day where you took over my radio channel.
That was so fun.
And I really do enjoy knowing you. And I'm happy. And I'm actually happy for your success. And if Jennifer Witz is listening, please put Andy's picture back in the room, just not in the most prominent place, if you don't mind.
Howard, thank you for having me to your home.
Thank you. Where are you off to, Andy? What are you going to do now?
I am going back to the city.
What a fabulous life.
Yes.
And what do you do? Are you going to go do one of your shows?
I am. I got Jennifer Lopez coming in tonight.
Oh, you're really doing that?
I really do.
On the TV show or on the radio show?
On the TV show.
What a career. Look at you.
Yes.
Look at you. Did you ever imagine that when you were a television executive that you would become a performer?
No.
Never.
No.
Never.
But by the way, I did want to ask you.
Yes.
And then I am going to be done.
Okay.
Because people often say to me, like, well, how did you get the hechus to ask questions?
Well, hold back up.
Yes.
The hechus.
The hechus.
There's no such word as hechus.
There is. You know what? In Yiddish, you can kind of make up words. You know what I mean?
Spielkis,
where did you get the balls?
Hechus.
No, where did you get the balls to ask the questions? And I always say, I watched Howard and Barbara Walters. Where did you get your fearlessness? Because it defines you singularly as a broadcaster.
I feel that if you are sitting and having a conversation with someone, and let's say they've written a book or some of this kind of thing, you can ask them about whatever they've commented on.
Yeah.
And I think that if you're doing a radio show, you're under that obligation.
I know, but you know how to push it as absolutely far as you can.
I've heard this theory.
Okay.
And it's not my theory, but the theory on me was that because I'm so honest on the air, and I am honest, I am brutally honest about myself, that there's a certain relationship or rapport I might have with the guest who then says, you know what, this guy's pretty upfront, I'm going to be upfront too. Maybe that's it. I don't know.
Right.
What do I know, Andy? What do I know? You look great, though. You've lost how much weight? Look at you.
You gonna let Beth out of the house today?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna. We're gonna go out and take a walk.
Okay.
Are you kidding? She's gonna get some fresh air.
Great.
Yeah. She's gonna walk me around.
Thanks, Howard.
Is this it?
This is it. I really appreciate it.
You sure you asked that? Did you want to check your piece of paper and make sure everything was asked?
Look, just so you know, you got a piece of paper when you do interviews too. Yeah, exactly.
But we're talking about you now.
So don't knock my piece of paper.
No, I'm looking at your piece.
It's good. It's back in the folder.
I like that you have a piece of paper, and you should be prepared. I don't want you coming in here and winging it.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Wasting my fucking time. What's the matter with you?
Oh my God. Thanks, Howard.
You got a boyfriend or what?
Do I have a boyfriend? No, I've been dating.
I can't believe. Do you think you'll ever be in a serious relationship?
Yeah, I do.
Maybe you have too much baggage because you have the kids. I don't mean to call the kids baggage.
No, I know what you mean.
A lot of guys aren't looking for that.
I have the kids. I'm famous. I mean, it's enough.
Well, fame. Everyone wants to be a part of that.
No, but a lot of people, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I dated somebody once and he was like, I said, we've never talked about the elephant in the room, me referring to my children. And he said, oh, that you're famous? I go, that's the elephant in the room. Are you kidding me? Anyway.
No, guys dig that. Are you kidding? Everyone wants to be, every gay guy I know wants to fuck Andy Cohen.
Is that right?
Yeah, and I say, hey, the guy's a top.
Wow.
What, you ain't fucking anybody.
Wow. Did I top you today? A little bit?
You dominated
Was
me.
I a gentle lover?
You were ununbelievable the way you handled me.
Wow.
But you were forceful.
Yes.
You turned me around and bent me over that desk.
I did.
Good Lord, you gave it to me.
Woo!
Wow, I feel like I'm in prison. It's unbelievable. Andy, God bless you. I wish you a lot of luck.
Thanks,
and you're a big success, and I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
All right,
too.
bye.
Bye.